Imagine you're living 30,000 years ago. There are no dating apps, no weddings, and no written rules about love. Every single day is a fight to survive. So when it came to choosing a partner, what really mattered?
Was it love, strength, beauty, or simply staying alive? The answer is far more fascinating than most people realize.
For prehistoric humans, choosing a partner wasn't just about attraction. It was one of the most important survival decisions they would ever make.
A good partner could help gather food, protect children, share knowledge, and increase the chances that the entire family would survive another winter. A poor choice could mean hunger, danger, or even death.
Unlike today, ancient humans didn't all follow the same customs. There wasn't one universal way to form relationships.
Different tribes lived in different environments, faced different challenges, and developed different traditions. Some probably stayed together for many years. Others may have separated and formed new partnerships over time. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer societies have found that human relationships have always been surprisingly flexible. But despite these differences, certain qualities seem to appear again and again. People looked for partners who were healthy, capable, cooperative, and trusted by the tribe. Because in a dangerous world, survival depended on more than one person. It depended on working together.
Strength certainly mattered. A skilled hunter could provide food during difficult seasons.
But hunting wasn't everything. Many of the calories ancient families relied on actually came from gathering plants, nuts, roots, and berries. Someone who knew where to find food, recognize poisonous plants, or care for children could be just as valuable as the strongest hunter.
In other words, being a good partner wasn't about muscles alone. It was about reliability. If someone shared food, helped injured tribe members, and earned the respect of others, they became someone people wanted beside them. Because long before civilization, reputation could be just as important as strength.
But there was one problem. If everyone wanted the strongest and most respected partner, how did people compete for love without money, status, or modern society? The answer might surprise you.
So, if there were no jobs, no money, and no expensive gifts, how did someone stand out? The answer was surprisingly simple. They proved their value through their actions.
A person who consistently found food, shared it with others, or stayed calm during danger naturally earned the trust of the tribe. And trust was one of the most valuable qualities anyone could have. Generosity may have mattered more than people realize. Imagine two hunters returning to camp. One keeps all the meat for himself. The other shares it with everyone. Now, ask yourself, which person would the tribe respect more? And which one would make a better long-term partner? Sometimes being kind was a survival strategy. But humans didn't choose partners based only on survival. Just like today, people were also influenced by attraction. A smile, a familiar voice, or simply enjoying someone's company could strengthen relationships. While we can't know exactly how prehistoric people felt, research suggests emotional bonds have deep roots in human history. Love may not have looked exactly like it does today, but caring for another person almost certainly did. Children changed everything. Human babies are born far more helpless than the young of most animals. They need years of care before becoming independent. Because of this, raising a child was rarely a one-person job. Parents, grandparents, older siblings, and other members of the tribe often helped. Survival became a team effort. This is one reason cooperation became such a powerful human advantage. A couple wasn't surviving alone. They were part of a much larger social group. The stronger the connections within the tribe, the better everyone's chances of making it through difficult times.
And here's something fascinating. Ancient humans probably laughed together, shared stories around campfires, comforted one another after loss, and celebrated successful hunts.
In other words, they weren't just trying to survive. They were building relationships. Even 30,000 years ago, being human meant more than simply staying alive.
But if love, trust, and cooperation already existed, why do ancient societies, and even modern ones, have so many different relationship traditions? The answer lies in one thing every tribe had to adapt to: their environment.
Here's where the story becomes even more interesting. There wasn't a single rule that every ancient human followed. A tribe living in frozen tundras faced completely different challenges than one living in tropical forests. Because of that, their traditions could be very different. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer societies have found remarkable diversity in how people formed relationships, married, and raised families. The one thing they all shared was the need to adapt.
If a tradition helped children survive or made the tribe stronger, it was more likely to continue. If it didn't, it often disappeared over generations. In other words, nature was constantly testing human behavior. The customs that improved survival had the best chance of lasting. And despite thousands of years of change, many of the qualities humans value today sound surprisingly familiar. Kindness, trust, reliability, the ability to cooperate, the willingness to protect and care for others. These traits helped ancient communities survive, and they still shape relationships today.
Of course, not every ancient relationship was happy. People argued. Some partnerships ended. Some individuals lost loved ones to disease, accidents, or harsh environments. Ancient humans weren't perfect. They were simply people, living in a far more dangerous world than we can imagine.
So, did ancient humans fall in love? The honest answer is we can't know exactly how every prehistoric culture experienced love. But archaeology, anthropology, and evolutionary science all point toward one conclusion. Humans have formed deep emotional bonds for a very long time, not because stories demanded it, but because cooperation, trust, and long-term care helped our species survive. The way we choose our partners has changed with culture, but the search for trust, companionship, and someone to face an uncertain future with is one of the oldest human stories ever told. What ancient mystery should we uncover next? Subscribe for more animated stories about the incredible journey of humanity.